All right, Sunday, May 4th, 2025. I'm John. Full disclosure right off the bat. Last night, my wife and I had the house to ourselves. So we had a few drinks, and if not for my to-do list and being non-negotiable, I would not be making a video right now. But I said I was going to make a video every day, so I am. So here I am. My thoughts, I've noticed, are a little cloudy today. I'm not as sharp as I normally am. Okay, so try to bear with me with the, because I do want to tell a couple of stories from last night. Last night we had a great time together. We've almost been married 10 years. It'll be 10 years next month. But so the first story, when we have a couple drinks, we like to play cards. And I know most of you are probably familiar with the card game War. And so my wife and I will play War, probably like once or twice a month. And she has just consistently kicked my butt. She's probably won at least the last 7 times we've played, maybe even more than that. So we were talking about playing War last night, and I was like, you know what? I don't even want to play War because you beat me every single time. And I caught myself in that thought because now I'm practicing this and I'm realizing I'm creating my reality by saying that she kicks my butt every single time. I'm basically sealing my fate. So I caught myself and I said, wait, you know what? I'm going to win tonight and I'm going to kick your butt. And so we started playing right off the bat. I got 3 aces. And so she had 1 ace. And so we were playing for a little bit and she took an ace and I got the ace back. So I had 3 aces again and we came to the end of the deck. So I was shuffling the deck and I said to her, joking around, I said, Daddy just needs that last ace and the game's over. And the very next card that we both dropped created a war. And I won her ace in that war. So as soon as I said that, it was wild. I mean, because if you've played War before, you could go through the deck 2 or 3 times and not have a war. And even you could have 5 wars and not get her ace and not get an ace, which kept happening to her. Even though I had 3 aces, she would win a bunch of wars, but she wouldn't get any aces. So for there to be a war on the very next card and for me to get her ace in that war as soon as I said that was super wild. Also, after that, we started playing this game called Higher Lower, it's called. So basically what that is it's a drinking game. If you don't know what it is, it's a drinking game where the person dealing will put the card down, and if let's say it's an 8, your job is just to say higher or lower. And if you get it wrong, you have to take a drink. Okay, if you get it right, you keep going until you get 5 right guesses in a row, and then you have the option to pass. So normally, you make a couple guesses wrong, and then finally you get 5 cards in a row, and you wind up and you pass, and then you go back and forth. But we had just started the game, and I was getting absolutely dominated. Okay, she would flip over a queen and I would say lower and a king would come out. She would flip over a king and I would say lower and another king would come out. And so if the same card comes out that's down, then that's a double. You have to drink double. And so I went through the whole deck, okay, which is, doesn't happen often. All right. So I went through the whole deck, and then I was like 15 or 20 cards in to the next deck. And I said, wait a minute. Okay. And I said to her, I'm going to show you the power of this stuff. All right. And I'm going to show you right now the next 5 cards that come out. I'm going to get all of these cards right, and I'm going to pass it to you. And I said, but here's what's going to happen is I'm going to do it. And here's what the mind does is you're going to watch it happen. And you're going to say, well, that would have happened anyway. I said, but I know better because I've been seeing some things over the last 4 or 5 weeks that after it happens, the mind just goes into that, well, it would have happened anyway, and makes it more of like coincidence or something like that. But when you really start applying this stuff, it's, that kind of stuff happens all the time. So anyway, I said that's what's going to happen, and it happened, and I passed. And she looked at it, and she paused for a second, and I could tell like she actually was impressed. So that was the second thing. Last thing, okay. I've been talking for the last couple of days how I've done a gratitude. I did David suggested a gratitude crash course, okay, where I was writing, 10 things the first day, 20 things the second day, twice a day. And then yesterday was 70 and 70. And so each thing that I would put on my list that I was grateful for, I would take 5 or 10 seconds. So I would write my wife on every single list. And I would, as soon as I write her name, I close my eyes and I think of something about her that I love, that I absolutely love. And so before we even started dating, like I said, we're going to be married 10 years next month. So we're going back 11, 12 years ago. We kind of like, I was her personal trainer. But that's all it was. And it was kind of like, I kind of knew she was into me. But I wasn't really interested because she was a client. But one night we had a mutual friend who had a party out at a bar. And so her and her friend all night were just kind of like following me around at the bar. And she kept dancing behind me and making this face like it was. She said I wasn't going to do the face right, and I didn't, but it was the most adorable face that I had ever seen. And then so each time doing my gratitude this week, I would picture that face. And I haven't seen that face probably since we got married. So it's been at least 10 years, okay? So last night, as we were having a few drinks, we were listening to music, we got up, started dancing in the kitchen, and what does she do? She starts making that face. And I said, oh my God, I can't believe you just made that face and I told her I had been seeing it in my gratitude all week. Okay, so so there's just, three things, that came up just yesterday, that all, pretty much, that all give you, signs, I guess, that, what I'm talking about here, what David's talking about, Elmer, Brendan Woods, his last name is Woods. I mentioned him in the first video. I couldn't remember his last name, but the law of assumption is definitely real. Okay. And I'm just at the point where it's like, the more I practice and the more I apply it, and I keep the drinking to a minimum, the rest of this stuff is just it has no choice but to play out in my experience. All right. So that's all I've got for today. I'm glad that I was able to push through and make a video, and I hope you keep watching, because I totally expect and know more of the things that happened last night are going to continue to happen, and the manifestations will just probably build on each other and just get bigger and bigger. So this is going to be fun. I love you all, and I hope you all have great nights. See ya. Bye.